As any performer probably knows, there's a collective synergy that happens when the venue and the audience and the songs just collide, but that happens every time here.
It's the closest thing to a church that I feel comfortable with.
Every show that I went to here sounded phenomenal. It was just great.
There's a big difference between how the bands are presented and listened to in this venue as opposed to, say, a bar.
I can't think of another venue that I've played in the last 20 years that someone's that invested in their passion for live music.
I call it home away from home.
With Gary and Michelle, it's very, very comfortable. And I think all the artists that I know feel the same way.
They're just wonderful people. Looking forward to getting back.
We actually bought the building with no intent to ever do anything but just live here. We bought the building in December of 2001, tried to get the building rezoned from commercial to residential. We were unsuccessful, and so we created just a great room downstairs. We had a ping pong table and a pool table.
So that was for about 8 years until I lost my corporate job. So we decided, well, what can we do downstairs? And so we said, well, it would make a nice, small, very intimate wedding reception business.
Then we were actually denied our liquor license, and it was an error made by the state. But we had to get an attorney, and after months, we won. But we found ourselves tens of thousands of dollars in debt, and we had lost an entire year of the event business because people don't come in and say, I'll use your place next week. They come in and say, I'd like to use your place next year. So we found ourselves
we had a
broke.
wedding venue with no bookings for until maybe 10 months out.
But we had a liquor license. So we said, well, what can we do? What can we do to sell a few drinks? And I said, well, we know the place is magical for music. Let's do a concert. And if it goes well, maybe we can do a couple a year. And honestly, I had no idea how to book anyone. And so we sat down and did a wish list.
Everybody on the list has been here now.
But I had this group of people, Alice was on there, and I sent out an email. And the very first email from Michelle at 7stepsup.com said, we have this idea for a concert. You know, we haven't done a concert yet. We'd like to book your artist, Alice Peacock.
Yeah, it was just something, it was very grassroots. They had a dream and they just really wanted to build something, and they kind of put it all out on the line there and asked if I would come play.
It felt very easy because she was just so easy to work with, and she holds that very special place in our heart. You know, you always remember your first, right?
And after that first show, we were hooked.
Yeah, addicted is a better word.
What was special about their place is there's several listening rooms where they ask people to be quiet, you know, where you can hear a pin drop. And they really wanted to make the music the focus.
We've all played shows where people, oh yeah, thanks, good job. And they turn around back to their conversation, but here, a true listening room is a whole different kind of energy.
They have a sign on the doors down there, world off, music on, and they are so right.
I do like the listening room part of it. I wasn't really familiar with them until I came here, and really surprised that you can see such good artists so close up.
It feels a little, almost like a sanctuary, you know? I guess it's a Masonic temple, or was. And so that there's kind of a story in the walls a little bit, you know, which I think contributes to the feeling that people get when they come to watch people perform.
You stand by while I fall all to pieces, man, that's just how you are. Heartache's just your thing, I guess. And I tried to mend what makes you happy, and I tried to bend what makes you break. Ain't you tired of all that pain in your chest? Ah, heartache's just your thing. I guess. Oh yeah, heartache's just your thing, I guess.
Well, I've played a lot of listening rooms, all the listening rooms around the country. Seven Steps really feels like Michelle and Gary are bringing you into their house because they actually live there.
You know, living above your venue, it's hard to separate your personal life from your business life. And
We don't even try anymore. There may have been a period whenever we actually tried, but we don't even try anymore. This is the green room / our home. And the interesting thing is that once again, there was absolutely no consideration for a music venue in the planning of this room, but it's absolutely perfect. They have access to laundry. You can't tell, but we actually have the ability to sleep. The most that we've put up here at one time is 11. The most that we've put in the entire building is 19, but sometimes artists will just stay here. Then we can have dinner after the show.
It's super special. I can't really tell you too much about the dinners. It's a slippery slope. But it's also a joy for traveling musicians to get a home-cooked meal.
The bonus, of course, is having Michelle cooking a great meal either before or after the show and drinking some good wine and just having a good time with these guys.
To be in this family and experience an incredible moment downstairs and then come upstairs and spend another 2 or 3 hours and sharing wine with some of my heroes, my icons, has been incredible. I just have this massive list in my head of people I never thought I could say, can I get you more wine?
Michelle and Gary are so passionate about music, but they're also really passionate about artists. And I feel like all of the artists that have come and played their series have become dear friends.
They've put up with me a lot. Like I have brought my pig to this venue. I had a pet pig, and we did a children's concert together. They've put up with a lot of my shenanigans.
This board is here, and artists write us notes. We didn't even know for a long time it was just here, and I didn't want to clean it off because it has some beautiful things.
As a performer, what I love that exchange of energy. I'm putting it out there and they send something back, and then I put it out there and they send something back. And so it really is a great conversation. And they set up 7 steps with intention, and it definitely feels like that.
Part of you feels like I need to come here, not just for the music, but it just feels good to my soul to be here.
I signed up for as an opening act for a tour, a fellow named Brendan James. The band couldn't make it, and it was just me, and I could not have been more nervous getting ready. And it was such a great experience meeting Michelle and Gary and kind of catching the vibe of this venue and just feeling so welcome and comfortable. And I'll always remember that show. The audience was wonderful and supportive. Michelle made us dinner. And I just have had a warm spot in my heart for 7 Steps Up ever since.
There's a hall with 7 steps to a stream. Don't wanna wake up from this dream. Today's gonna be a lazy day. Today's gonna be a lazy day.
Well, since COVID has hit and the venue's been closed, I personally miss it because I miss the personal interaction with not only the owners and the other volunteers, but also with members of the community who have become regulars.
I think for the community, it's this magical gym that people can drive by and not know what goes on in there, but either they're invited or they hear about it and they're forever changed.
You know, you come in and give hugs to everybody, and it's like, I haven't seen you in a while, or if somebody's not here, you call them and go, dude, you missed the best concert last night.
When I was doing my regular road thing, I was gone almost all the time. But my wife, my daughter, my son could all come here, and it was a good environment, them to stay involved in the music scene. So yeah, it's a really good thing for community as well.
I wanted to offer something back, so I approached Michelle one night and said, you know, I really appreciate the fact that you're here doing all this. If there's anything I can do to help out. She said, yeah, as a matter of fact, we have a volunteer position open at the door. So I jumped on that because I thought it would be a great way to get involved and be part of this experience.
We came up with a volunteer program, and our volunteer program in a nutshell is people can come and work a show. Obviously they don't have to buy a ticket, and in exchange for that, then they can come to any concert for free as long as they don't care where they sit.
People come in, I check them in and make sure they know where to sit, and really be an ambassador for Seven Steps. And my son works here. He works for Gary and Michelle. That's pretty neat too because he's still in high school.
Kind of just working, setting up chairs, tables, you know, kind of getting the place ready for shows, you know, set up the stage, kind of get everything, move it from the downstairs to the upstairs.
A fairly hilarious story. I'll spare you the graphic details of when there was a sewer issue downstairs. A tree root encroached, shall we say, on one of the pipes. And it was kind of a year-end big concert, multiple bands, it was packed. And so every time there was a break and 200 people are flushing the toilet, it was a mess. So Gary and I literally were taking 20-minute shifts, mopping up and bucketing out this mess. There's some really great surreal moments of reconnecting with music from a volunteer side again.
That's been an amazing experience in itself because I get to stand side by side with sometimes local people and sometimes national legends, and that's just been pretty exciting.
Last night the tears were more than just fear. The news hit way too close to home. Talking to friends about when this will end. The truth is that none of us know. Feel paralyzed, been staying inside, keeping the wick of hope lit till further notice. Till further notice.
It was December 10th, 2011, and I had just been nominated for a Grammy Award, and so it was a few months before the Grammys, and I showed up in Spring Lake. It was the first time I saw a Grammy nominated on a marquee, so I remember texting a picture of it to my mother, and that's when I met Michelle outside on the front steps.
Seth Gleer was one of the first ones we had dinner with, I think. We just connected. So we've gone to other venues to see him. We've traveled to see him. We actually hired him to sing at our wedding, and then he invited us to his wedding. And
Yeah,
we actually did a Christmas party at his house last year. So
Seeing a hero play for 2 hours downstage, and then we're sharing a meal together has just been incredible.
It's just takes you away and lets you escape into the music world.
You know, Michelle gets behind the board, she makes sure the sound is correct, she knows the artist's music.
She's just a dynamo, you know, she's doing everything.
A venue like Seven Steps Up is bringing nourishment into a community in every possible way. And it's places like that that They make this country good. It's the essence of really the best version of ourselves.
One of my favorite things that I ever heard an artist say, and we've had multiple artists tell us this, that they tell their agents, you can put Spring Lake at the beginning of the tour, or you can put them at the end. Because if we're here at the beginning, then we say, all right, so we can get back to the real world. And if you put them at the end, we're like the entire tour, just wait till you get to Spring Lake. Just wait till you get to Spring Lake. And, I love that. I love that sentiment.
They really know how to take care of people.
If you like art, if you like what a song can do to your interior structure, please go to 7 Steps Up. It will change your what you think a live performance can be.
Some waiting on checks that some won't ever get. Floating can feel just like drowning, but there's still stars in the sky. Love is in good supply, and in a way we're already rebounding. So I keep trying